So we're live now. We're about to go live around the world. Ladies and gentlemen. Hi, and good morning. This is Showtime the Hype Man Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon on Philly Hott Radio. Callers, call in at 484-477-6348, or you can go to www.phillyhottradio.com and stream live on YouTube and Facebook Live. See ya! Hi, my name is Showtime the Hype Man on Philly Hott Radio. Morning show. My name is Showtime the Hype Man. We have a brand new show today. I'm excited what is going on. I got a radio show. I got to pitch myself to make sure that I got a radio show every Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, along with the Saturday morning show on Philly Hott Radio. Whistle While You Work show is doing great views. We are doing great things. But today, Showtime the Hype Man show, morning show, is starting to take off. I'm excited with my future for those who are about to tune in to watch us. Before we get into a show, I want to talk about a spiritual part of the new wave that I'm preserving, introducing myself to the world. For those who have a new wave approach, a new wave approach have allowed you to get through the doubt that you may have in your mind, in your thinking. I have watched this spirit of this new wave, what it has done for me and the impact it has allowed me to play a major role in my life. It's important that this new wave of spirits that most people never understand because of the negative and the jealousy and of being afraid to do something different. And I have watched my peers and those who are in front of me and those who maybe be in back of me are afraid to take risks in what people are saying about them. As I was driving in the city of Philadelphia, and I have drove in the community where I was raised and come, and I have saw at 63rd and Market with dark buildings where buildings are not even open, they are vacant buildings. We have a lot of real estates that people are buying, but what happened is that they allow some of these areas to go by the wayside because we have never learned how to organize and structure. A lot of people have a lot of doubt spirit. And I talk about that all the time before we get into this show, that mostly people have a pity pot or what someone did to them, so they're afraid of speak up on really what they really want to say. Good morning, Q. I want to thank Q, my friend that's watching me. And this journey that Showtime Morning Show is about to launch off on a whole new way, the way we do podcast radio. But before we do it, it's important that we allow God and allow me to tell a story. And it's important for me that those men and women that are watching me around the world on our YouTube channel and also on my Facebook page, if you want to go on a journey, it's important that you understand that doubt, you're going to hear people say you ain't going to make it. You're going to have people that's going to say that you ain't doing it the right way. I have found out on this journey of doing something, being creative, because mostly people are not creative. And no one ever realized that y'all haven't had no real pressure before. Yes, you might have fell short of paying your car note, or maybe fell short paying your mortgage or some type of bills that you may have. That ain't pressure. That's stuff that is normal. Half of my audience and those who are watching me that is important. We got a caller that's calling in. We're going to get back. I want to hold something. We have a caller. Philly Hot Radio, Showtime Hott Man Morning Show. Good morning to the caller.
Hi, this is Dr. Rock calling.
Hey, this Dr. Rock. How you doing, Dr. Rock?
I'm good. I'm good. How you doing, Showtime Hype Man?
Well, Dr. Rock, I feel good this morning, and I'm excited about this morning show, and I'm just excited about the journey that you have came with me, and I want my viewers to know that Dr. Rock never knew what we was going to do, how long we was going to stay on. But good morning to you, Dr. Rock. First, we want to say good morning to you, and
I see you getting together. I see you. Good morning to you.
well, it only come by believing in myself and having someone to believe in me. And we never worked together before. We never even crossed paths. And me and Dr. Rock lived in the same community, but we never walked past or left cross. For those who watch Motel and the music of the Temptations and Donna Ross, how a lot of them never saw each other, but when they found something they liked, they met the same people in the intersection. Me and Dr. Rock grew in the same neighborhood, went to the same high school, the same elementary school, and also the junior, but we never crossed the paths in our young life. Isn't that a miracle that I lived right down the street from her on 54th and 11th Avenue, and she lived where, 59th and what?
Upland West.
That's right around the corner from 11th Avenue.
Right.
And can you believe, Dr. Rock, that me and you never crossed paths during our teenager, our young life? Me and Dr. Rock ran across each other in our adult life when we got 50 years old. Dr. Rock never knew me and I never knew her. So, Dr. Rock, I'm glad I know you now.
Yes. Things happen, God put people in people's life at certain times in life. So at certain times, that's what he does. He just, he connects the dots at certain times in the life where you can meet people, later on. So I'm glad we met, and we got a fantastic show on weekday and on the weekend. So, you just keep doing, the great job that you do, and with God's help, we would definitely keep this radio station going and keep it going with God's help.
So, Dr. Rock, I watched our views on Monday, and I have saw where what allowed this show to take off on Monday morning on Dr. Martin Luther King. But I want to ask you, and what I've read in the book of talking about what you do, and it's important you do the same thing that made that day to be successful. That's like for those who are in the business of making money and doing something. So what I'm trying to do, and what me and Dr. Rock is doing on the Saturday show that we do, along with All Way Up when I'm here Monday, Friday by myself, but I'm not by myself because I have God and Jesus Christ, my Savior. And I don't have a problem to go live and talk about that I love Jesus Christ, my Savior, because he has saved my life. If you got a problem with God and talking and boasting about the God you serve, then something wrong with you. I'm going to brag about the God that I love because he have gave me a gift. So, Dr. Rock, let's get into, I want to talk about the inauguration.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to tell you. Everybody, just need to put prayer, or, silent prayer for the inauguration today, that everything will go great, everything will go well. Because only God knows, so we just, for people just to wish them, blessings.
Have you seen the outcome of the inauguration with Donald Trump got into the helicopter this morning? For those who are watching me, we would love your input of holding the conversation, because I was sharing with someone earlier this morning that mostly black folks have not paid attention. Only ones that does that's in politics, those who maybe first time ever been involved in campaigns, first time ever registered voters before. So a lot of us have never participated in general election, primary elections in the city of Philadelphia. And we have watched Joe Biden, and Trump has opened up politics worldwide in America that mostly that young black people did not pay attention to politics, and now has opened our eyes up the way senators in Congress have passed bills over the years that never benefit. So Dr. Rock, what are you looking for in this inauguration this time with Joe Biden and Miss Harris, Vice President Harris? What are you looking for out of this inauguration to see the flags, the speech? They're going to have gospel hosts. I think that they got a different types of gospel going to be singing, R&B groups, and little balance of groups. What are you looking for, and what is the best moment for you in inauguration, or this is your first time really paying attention to inaugurations?
Right?
I say, is it your first time?
Every year to the inauguration, I pay attention every
Okay,
year.
good. That's what, for me, I haven't really paid up. I didn't really get into it, but this year I'm paying more attention because what happened in Washington 2 weeks ago. So you're going.
I want to, first of all, I want to say God bless, an ex-president, that's leaving. God bless him. Whatever he does in life, you still want blessings for him, okay? And, for the president that's leaving.
Mm.
But the president is coming. We just keep him in prayer, because I believe that he's going to do the right thing, and I believe that because we need unity, and that's what it's all about. And so we need unity. We need, because division is not good. Because we all are made the same, and we are our people. So we need to love and show more love to each other, and that's my. So that's just my thought on. I believe that that's what he's trying to do. He wants to bring unity to everybody, and also this COVID is really a bad thing right now that he's trying to. He wants to help that where people can get their vaccines quicker and stuff like that. So I believe that he's going to do it. And like I said, I just, anybody, that I believe, and I do believe that he will get it done, that he said he's going to get it done. Because all we needed was a caring president, someone that cares about the people. And when I say care about the people, because a lot of times in life, we all think about ourselves, and we don't want to keep thinking about it, so you want to think about the people. Who are you there for? What is the president for? The president is for the people. The president is for helping the people. The president is not for just one person. So this is what I'm saying. So it's all about, unity and what is going to happen next. And like I said, I give praises to Donald Trump. I hope everything goes right for him. God bless him. Him and his wife, everybody, his wife, his family. Because I don't have no illness about nobody. Because that's the way God don't want us to be that way. You don't want us to hate nobody. You don't want us to dislike anybody. So I wish him luck. I do. I wish him, blessings to him and his family.
Wow. Well, I want to. That was well fluid as explaining to our audience, and love is one of the powerful things. And we have seen that the love has not been consistent in America, and we have watched demonstrate the civil war against other elected officials, and we're watching a civil war race against the other people, against each other. And we have watched where senators that control the seats, where people have not been concerned and have a spiritual heart. And I talked about this, and I'm going to say this, that I have watched some of the elected officials today that has ran for office. And over the years, these guys has been in office for 30 and 40 years, has stayed in the same seat. And it all talked about that if you stay somewhere long enough, your spirit will change. And we have seen the demonic change in politics over helping society and people. Political people is making sure that we have an economy that is going to grow and help poor people and people that never had a dream in this country. It's important that those who are watching us, that we watch the transaction where Joe Biden Harris is going to do something different. This is the first black woman, Asian woman, or whatever she's mixed with, but we realize that she's a black woman, has become the vice president of the United States of America. Also, we need to thank Joe Biden for accepting her as his running mate to beat the Trump team. I want to give a shout out to Joe Biden Harris, and I salute to them because me and Dr. Rock endorsed. Did I say that right, Dr. Rock? Did we endorse them?
I wanted to say everybody who's watching, God bless you. Keep your support up, and we appreciate all the support that y'all give for the radio station on Saturday, during the weekday. Showtime, keep doing, good service, and keep doing what you do. You're doing a great job as a host. So I'll talk to you later. I just have to go.
See you, Dr. Rock. Bye-bye. So for those who like to call in, I got a radio show. And we are live on. And good morning. This is Showtime the Hype Man Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon on Philly Hot Radio. Callers, call in at 484-477-6348. Or you can go to www.phillyhotradio.com and stream live on YouTube and Facebook Live. See ya. So we're live on Philly Hot Radio. I got a morning radio show. My name is Showtime the Hype Man on Philly Hot Radio. We are broadcasting live, and we were just talking about the inauguration where we just electing a vice president, black woman in the United States of America. In 2016, when we elected Obama as the president, and he has become one of the first, and now we are moving in the right direction. Because we elect a black woman, a vice president, and Joe Biden has took her as his running mate to fight some of all the Democrats that thought that they should be in this position. Joe Biden is 80. Joe Biden has to be, I think, 86 years old. I'm not sure his age. If someone can find out for me that's watching me to find out his real actually age. But Joe Biden always was trying to be the president when he first became a senator and became elected. And he always was one of his dreams. But it finally came, Joe, from Wilmington, Delaware. Joe Biden, you are the president of the United States of America. The people has voted, and you have win an extremely great campaign. I want to thank Joe Biden, his team, his staff. I want to thank all the people in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, our Governor Wolf, and them doing a great job. I want to thank the commissioners and those who deal with the ballots. I want to thank those who played a major role in the street, the little people that putting signs out, those who have buttons. We want to thank everybody that participated and got involved in this election. And it's important that we as people understand that it's not over and we have finished business to do. I have watched the Democrat cities where black people in Chicago, Detroit, some of the South Carolina, the red states down Atlanta, Georgia, where the Afro-American people been targeted for a long time, even on jobs and corporate jobs. And we have seen these same people that's in position as bosses, as managers, have came into some of these companies where dominated Afro-Americans was the working force, and some of the jobs that black people was holding are called service jobs. And they knew that the laborers and all the organizations that help people if something happened in the laws that we passed, the Civil Rights Act in 1964, and we have found out, even though we have passed bills, but none of the bills stick when it comes to a black man or a black woman in America. Joe Biden, you have a chance to sit back with your team, your staff, and analyze why is the black people still suffering, and they have been in this country over 300 years. And we have worked our tails off, and we have been through some bumpy roads. We have been through some struggles. We have been through drug addiction in our community, alcoholness. We have been through family breakup. We have been through with all kinds of diseases that they threw in our own community. We have seen scientists, and that's what I'm going to talk about, that Showtime the Hype Man is in a laboratory in this show right here. And what I'm doing, I am mixing different things up and hoping that my podcast, my radio show will be attractive to new people. This is a laboratory for me, just like a chemistry or a scientist trying to find a potion or come up with a chemical that maybe can save lives. My radio show, that's right, Showtime the Hype Man got a radio show every day from Monday to Friday. And I call this my laboratory. And I read something from TJ Jake book today, like I do every morning. And it's something about that book talks about instant, where a lot of us have been through some situation, but we never learned how to be a scientist, and we never learned how to be a lab technician or how to solve the problem. But what happened was we went with the old wave. And when we have went years and years of not developing a new laboratory spirit of how to change the intellecting of our thinking, and how can we pursue a new way of living into the 21st century. My name is Showtime the Hype Man. We are broadcasting live on Philly Hott Radio. For those who like to call in and say hi, don't be afraid. I know y'all looking at me on Facebook, but we got a phone number, 484-477-6348. Hi, and good morning. This is Showtime the Hype Man Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon on Philly Hott Radio. Callers, call in at 484-477-6348, or you can go to www.phillyhottradio.com and stream live on YouTube and Facebook Live. See ya. That's right, we're live here on Philly Hott Radio. My name is Showtime the Hype Man. We're talking about the laboratory, where a lot of y'all maybe not understand what I said today when I said scientists and laboratory. We're not used to going into our bedroom or maybe in our living room, or for those who maybe have nice basements where it's a comfort zone for you. And what I'm going to share today, and I'm hoping that those who are listening and watching today, that the laboratory is a mixer of different things that you have experienced. And what happened was, the people that I know and the people that I grew up with, we have never learned how to laboratory or come with a scientist or with an idea and put all it together, all our mistakes, all our trials, all our difficulty, all our complaints, all that stuff that we have dealt with over the years. We have never found a solution how to conquer it. But what happened was that we has accept the old wave. And as long as that we accept the old way, we will never get to where we thought we can get. It's not about your age. I want to say that again for those who are 50 and going to their 60s, or those who are going into their 40s and 10 more years, you'll be 50 years old. A lot of us have never been taught, and we always listen to people tell me, "I'm getting old. I'm getting old. Oh, I ain't getting old. Can't wait. Can't wait." God, ladies and gentlemen, for those who are watching me around the world, it's never too late to start over again. That laboratory, what I was talking about when you're in your room and you got a pencil and you got a paper, and how you are mixing up formulas, how can I get to the next level? Ladies and gentlemen, it's the new wave that will get you to the next level. So I want to leave that with my audience, and I want to play a selection about those who want to get married or still living with a man that maybe been with you for 40 years and he have never offered you a carat diamond ring. We're seeing men and women that are afraid to get married or don't want to be married. But my sisters, all of y'all are married material. And we have lost, because of the relationships and the scars that men and women are not afraid to get married. But I see the other culture at 19 and 20 and 35 years old. I have seen the other culture have a carat ring on their hand. They are still following tradition of marriage. What happened to the marriage in the black community? Why a lot of these women are not getting married in the black community? That is something that maybe we need to say, but I want to play this song here, and it talks about the carat ring. Put it on my finger. Well, you're going to hear it live. So we're going to hear it live on Philly Hot Radio. This is Corey Wilmington, later track by Reese, his producer. My name is Showtime the Hype Man. I played it yesterday. Why she want to put a ring?
I know you're tired of me playing around. I think it's time for us to settle down. But it's on me to be a man of me, yeah. And let you know I'm serious. I hope you really know what I feel. I know I'm not some baby, that's for sure. I don't need you walking out the front door. You ain't leave me, please believe in me, yeah. And I'ma show you love like you've never felt before.
So basically, good morning, good morning. I hope that you like that track. We are talking about people falling in love and how many carats that you want. This is a song where mostly women would love to be married and maybe have my audience for those who are still waiting to get a engagement ring or waiting for that person to pose to you. Why is so many of our people are not getting married like we used to do? What is it that why is it okay to shack up and live with someone for 20 and 30 and 40 years and he have never put a carat ring on your hand? This is for the ladies. I like to hear the ladies' opinion, how they feel about marriage or a man buying you a carat ring. Or do we know the meaning of love? Do we know the meaning of relationship? Do we know the meaning, or half of us just want somebody just to pay our bills or just say I got a man? Who like to get a carat ring and pose you in front of your family and your children and tell them, would you be my wife? So we're going to do a commercial break. I'm going to talk two of my sponsorship, Johnson Johnson and Rhea Joe Grant of the CEO Designer. Well, Johnson Johnson 30 Compression 2 Breath has a new location where at 308 North 64th Street. Wanda Johnson is the founder and the CEO, and she is offering service and providing certification and CPR, first aid, HIPAA, OSHA, and a 4 weeks of blood work courses is also being available. For more information, you can call 267-979-7228. That's Johnson & Johnson 30 Compression. Also, we have another sponsorship. Her name is So we have another sponsorship. Rhea Joe Grant is the CEO of Designing a Possession, Cheeks, and Sassy. A designer and a look that is for only you. Possession, Cheeks, and Sassy is a style that we represent the unique fire, and you and the burning, fiery flame of colors are spark the elegant and classy ladies. You are specialized in one of a kind in you. So if you want to go to www.sassycheeksassy.com, or you can go to her email, Margarita, like the margarita drink, that is Margarita Grant 27 yahoo.com, or you can call her up at 215-219-7041. Also, another one of our sponsors is DJ Big Brother. Those who are dealing with digital money, DJ Brother is one of our sponsorship. Also, Bike TV is one of our sponsors. We are grateful to have Bike TV as one of our sponsorships. So I'm so grateful for all our sponsorship and everybody else that have joined us live on that. I'm hoping that those who like for us to do a shout out for your birthday, a shout out for your families and friends. We are broadcasting live on Philly Hot Radio. Showtime My Hype Man has a radio show every Monday through Friday. We are working hard to make sure this show is successful. We are working hard to make sure those who are watching us around the world that will tune in. I got a radio show. And our radio show is every Monday to Friday. So for those who like to us to do a shout out on your business or do a shout out on your commercial, we are the radio show, and we are the new podcast radio show going to the 21st century. So for those who maybe don't understand how this process goes, the phone lines are open. We're talking about why is not as so many people are not getting married? And what is the reason why a lot of women are not getting that carat ring on their finger? That was the song that I just put out there. So we asking that those who are watching us uh, will maybe elaborate on why is that a lot of people are not getting married. I hope that men and women can call on this subject. Where is why the marriage rate has went lower in the black community? I just want to ask your opinion. So you can call at 484-477-6347. So you can call us up on Philly Hot Radio Morning Show. We want to know why so many women are not getting married. And I think that every woman will love to have a carat ring on their finger. So we waiting for our callers to call us up. You can call. Hi, and good morning. This is Showtime the Hype Man Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon on Philly Hot Radio. Call us. Call in at 484-477-6348. Or you can go to www.phillyhotradio.com and stream live on YouTube and Facebook Live. See ya. So we're live and we're back. So for those who are watching me, we're asking, why is that the marriage rating in the black community is on a real low right now? What is it that some of the men's and women's that are in relationships with children, but they aside have made a decision that they feel that they shouldn't be married? Philly Hot Radio Morning Show with Showtime the Hype Man. Hello.
Hey, Showtime, what's up with you?
All right, what's going on?
Oh, man, I'm looking at you now, but I'm also, I was calling to answer a question on why guys have not putting rings on women's fingers in over extra amount of time. I think that play a part on both parties. One, sometimes the man, the woman don't fit the character. Meaning it's good to be a friend, but you know how they've been a friend for so long and everything's been going on. But then they think if they just cross their line and borderline, then things will change. Or it could be that a lot of people are afraid of commitment. So it could go for both. It could go both ways. And with, you know, with marriage come responsibility, and a lot of people, you know, probably ain't ready for those type of responsibilities.
Wow. I want to ask you a question. Are you married?
Nah.
What is your age rack? You don't have to tell me, but what do you feel? Because I have seen the marriage rate in the black communities on a real low. And I'm seeing that people want to have children and want to hook up. And why is that in our community that I understand is a commitment of financially, it's a commitment staying together, but we want to still control the woman or the woman want to control the guy. But when it comes to commitment, why is the commitment part is so hard to pose or ask a woman? Because I'm seeing that we're not committed into strong values and relationship. And the reason why the black community and the children are running around, because the two parents that maybe produce a child was never committed in the first place, but they was there for the lust and for the rust. So when you have lust in a relationship and it turned to rust, so the marriage and the diamond carat ring will never come up in the subject, but we'll do everything it does as married. That's my girl. That's my girl. Or the women say, that's my man. What is your input? Why have I seen, or we're not even seeing marriage in the black community, besides what you just spoke on?
Well, the age bracket, I would say from like 35 to 45, right? I do, you know what, it is a low percentage of marriage trouble because also with marriage also deals with religion. If people don't have a sense of direction which religion they want to follow or Muslim male who find a nice young lady, but due to his religion, of course, no one is perfect. He will only take it but so far. But if the woman do any type of religion, I don't think that that religion is good for me. Then it would be in a halting state. People, what I think it is, people just need to find themselves first, and then find something that's compatible to them. So when you go out to look for it, it's hard for it to get exactly what you want instead of letting it come to you. If that makes sense. But again, I believe that because of what's been going on, how there's some turmoil with people in the upbringing of unsuccessful marriages, they just like keep it as they just keep it as it is. See what it is no more. See, people don't value those type of that type of relationship. They just look at it, oh, I'm married just to say I'm married, or I'm married because I've been married before. They're not looking at it, I'm married with love and tradition and morals and values and respect with the husband and the wife and things like that. But I know it's a lot of people I have come across that want to get married, and in their age, they're in that age bracket from that 35 to 45. But are the men ready to fulfill that responsibility? And there's a lot of them out here that not really ready to fulfill that responsibility. I can't say what's the real reason or what they're scared of, but I mean it's hard.
Wow. You said it in a structured way that because I'm a master listening, and I know that my audience are watching me around the world, and we are bringing topics on Philly Hot Radio morning show with Showtime the Hype Man. So we're going to be trying to engage in great conversation like this. Why is the black women's and the black men's are not engaging in marriage? And also you said something about religion. And I have watched our religion part has played a major part in our community. And I have watched where women's maybe been a Christian or a Baptist, or maybe came from a structure of religion where they mothers and fathers, or then we have men's and women's that maybe go to the prison system and find a religion, Islam religion. Then we have certain other people feel that because of their religion, they can have 5 different wives in America, where mostly the mothers get emotionally and transform into a religion that they maybe not. Even in churches in Christ, you might have a sister that maybe was a Muslim that trans over to Christian reality. For those who watch Farrakhan, he talks about the different religion, and it's okay that a Muslim and a Christian has hooked up because we know that it's the same God. But we are watching that a lot of them do it because of their religion, get married, and a lot of women, it's like an honor to get married and say that, but then 5 years later, he would tell her that he want to marry another wife and for her to be submitted. Then we have people that married for the wrong reason, and we was talking about how a lot of people live in a dark life where the man has rule, but because of the financially, she's in the marriage, but she don't love her. So I want to thank you for calling up. I hope you continue to call. I appreciate you calling, because a lot of people just sit here and watch me do what I do on the Philly Hot Radio, and I think that this is a great topic. Why do the black men's and black women's are not getting married in a rate where it used to be in the 60s and the 50s, they was getting married at 15 and 16 and 17 years old. I want to thank you, caller, for calling in.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So we're live on Philly Hot Radio. My name is Showtime, and good morning. This is Showtime the Hype Man Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon on Philly Hot Radio. Call us. Call in at 484-477-6348, or you can go to www.phillyhotradio.com and stream live on YouTube and Facebook Live. See ya. Hi, my name is Showtime the Hype Man. We are disgusting a topic. Why is the community that I come from are afraid to buy that carat ring for that woman? Or why is the black brothers or sisters in the community are not getting married as they used to in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s? What is the difference between that era and the 21 area? Or are we seeing more women are going lesbian, or we're seeing some of the brothers that undercovered stuff? Because we are hearing mostly people afraid, or why is we afraid to partner up? Then we're seeing women's bringing another woman inside the house and telling their children that's their dad. Or we're seeing two men hook up in a house and want to adopt a child. Not to be disrespectful to anyone belief or what they like. I want to make that clear. But this is a talk show. And for me to be different, I have to say something, not to be disrespect to anyone belief, anybody who they love, but this is a talk show. And for me to be a talk show host, I have to say things where most people are afraid to say. I'm not here to please or say that. I'm here to give my audience a freedom of speech to speak their opinion live on my radio show. So why is that so many women, black women, are not having a carat ring on their hand? My name is Showtime the Hype Man on Philly Hot Radio Morning Show. I got a radio show. And we have Sharon Water Pearson. She said that don't believe in the same Christians. I don't believe in Christians and Muslims. And maybe you can call up on the phone, Sharon, explain that to our audience that are watching me, because that is really what's going on when some of the sisters will get mad of a brother that committed in his religion. So when things don't go right, she takes her garland off and take everything off and go back dressing like she used to dress and go back and forth. What is that emotion, attitude of when you have a fight with your male or he do something and you take your garland down, but are you in the relationship with him when you have sex? And then he take you out for breakfast, or he take you to the mall to buy you a Gucci bag. And how long do that last for the next episode of a disaster, or you are mad at him and you'll take off your stuff? Philly Hot Radio, this is Showtime, the Hype Man Morning Show.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning. I like you. How you doing, everybody? This is Sharon. And she's a co-host on this radio show, but because of her responsibilities, she's not able to be here along with Dr. Rock sometime. But I'm holding it down, Sharon, for y'all. So Sharon, you had commented something about they don't believe that same as Christians and Muslims. Can you comment that to our viewers and those who are watching us around the world?
Okay, basically what I'm saying is marriage is difficult as it is enough. So, it's work. And you want to be on the same footing and you want to believe the same things. And unfortunately, Christianity and Islam, there are differences and they don't all believe the same thing. So that's going to be that's conflict there right there. Especially if you have a marriage and you're bringing children into the mix. Are you going to bring a Muslim? Are you going to bring them a Christian? Because they, you know what I'm saying, they don't all believe the same thing.
Wow. Well,
you know what I'm saying? So
let me ask you a question. In the hood, in the ghetto, see, I'm a ghetto guy. I'm from the hood, I'm from the ghetto. See, I'm going to keep it real.
Okay.
And I have watched where in the the 60s, when the Ajah Muhammad have gave us a powerful religion to help each other and take men's and women to respect women's and men's to respect their community. But what happened is that the street guys and some of the thugs and some of the men's and women's that betrayed the gangster role. And because it's a peaceful religion, all religion is peaceful. And I truly believe that a Christian and a Muslim brother have the same God and the same teaching, but the same language. And I have seen that Christians and Muslims are living together now in the same household, where some women will not revert over because of their belief, but their husband is what he do, she respect him, and the women still honor the way that she accept her way. So, have you seen the same thing that I see?
I mean, it happens, but I think it's conflicting because there are certain things, like I said, there are certain things that is present in Islam that is not necessarily prevalent in Christianity. So it's like, you understand what I'm saying? It's like, if I believe one thing and you believe another, I mean, how can you come together? How can you work? I'm saying as far as worshiping together.
Well, that's a
You know what I'm
top.
saying? That's my thing. Like, if I was to ever get married again, I'm a Christian. I doubt I'd get married again, but if I did, I would want, my husband would have to be Christian because I would want us to worship together as a family.
Well, what make you say you wouldn't get married again? You had a guy here Saturday, maybe want to offer you marriage. I know that, I know. Well, you know, Sharon, don't never say what God won't do because you are married material. You just have to.
I enjoy being, my whole thing is I enjoy being single. I enjoy just, being able to get up and do what I want, whatever. And the problem is, I know this is a whole nother can of worms that actually could be a whole nother show. One of the things is that some people, they're married to single people, is what I call it.
Wow.
So you get married and still want to live the single life. You don't want to be accountable.
Wow.
But if you're married, it's a partnership. So you should be accountable to your partner. You shouldn't just come and go as you please.
Well, well,
that's a whole nother show.
that is another show, but I want to thank you, and I'm glad you had the heart to call. And I know that.
It's all about the court. That's what people need to do.
Yeah.
Instead of sitting by being what I call social media voyeurs or social media peeping toms. You know what I mean?
Wow. So.
Peeping toms, do they look? Don't say nothing.
Well.
We got something to say.
Well, that can be a great topic. So I want to thank you, Sharon, for calling in, and I really appreciate anyone that called in. So I want to thank you for that. You answered my question, and I want to thank you, okay? And God bless you, and have a nice day.
Thank you.
All right, so that was Sharon Pearson just called up and spoke her view, but we are seeing that why are a lot of women are not getting married or getting posed to be married, but living with someone, or he's telling you, you're my wife, but we don't have the documents in the paper. And I have watched that when death come or situation come and we live together, but we never really did everything to have everything illegally in this country. So that's a topic that I want to do. We're going to move on to another topic. I thought that was positive. That's the way that God has allowed me to shift. So we're going to shift, and we're going to talk about, what do you feel about your city? For those who are watching me, how do you feel about your city or your elected officials or some of your religion leaders or some of your community leaders, or why is the people that we're electing are not in touch with the gun violence in the city of Philadelphia? For those who are watching me around the world on the YouTube channel, in 2020, Philadelphia had over 500 deaths and over 2,078 people been shot. We have seen during the COVID-19 more death, and they have brought a commissioner to come into a city from out of the town, and I have seen that the elected officials and those don't have a clue. And I know they have a clue about building instruction and bringing equity or developing new buildings. We are seeing a lot of new buildings downtown. We are seeing how they are building Broad Street from Erie Avenue all the way down to City Hall. Then they took it a little farther all the way down to Patterson Street in the South Philadelphia area. What is the difference that the black community have seen more death in their community, more drugs, more fested vacant homes? We have seen over the last 50 or 60 years of mostly urban poorest community has lost the value of structure of loving each other. For those who are watching me around the world and on the YouTube channel, why have we still have not come up with a marketing pattern of finding ways how can we reduce gun violence in the city of Philadelphia and across every other blue state city? You'd be surprised where the data across the poorest community and how we are seeing young men are dying at the age of 15, 16, 17, 18, even as young as 12 years old, getting slaughtered in the streets. Where did we go wrong at as leaders, as men, as mothers? And why are we not talking about a solution or having a round table, not with the same people that got the old way and the old idea? It's important for me, Showtime the Hype Man, that I not shut the door on the 500 deaths in the streets of the city of Philadelphia, that mothers that are still suffering and still mourning over their children's death. I will not allow their death go in vain, these innocent young boys that are dying in the streets of the city of Philadelphia and across every other blue state where Democrats has controlled some of these states with federal money and state money, where the state and the federal money can learn how to match money. But because of some of the elected officials have never learned how to represent their district, because you give out turkeys or have a food drive, that's all in good at this present time. Or some of the elected officials will collaborate together to have live shows in their district and bring some of our young rapping stars like Dougie Fresh or some of the people that we grew up with to give our community something that they'll find funds in their budget to do live shows, and they all do the same thing. If you notice, they all do the same thing. The old way is not working, Philadelphia. And would we invest into a candidate that we think that's best for our community? The old way of leadership is not working. Not to be disrespect to our public service, but if someone has to have the heart and the guts to challenge the people that we elected in the city of Philadelphia, we have allowed them to get a free ride for a long time. And I'm not saying that the elected officials have to be out all day long patrolling their district. But what happened was we get people that's cute, that want to be in management, that want to be in the spotlight, or want to have a title behind their name, and because of the old wave of titles in leadership, it has not related to the young people in the city of Philadelphia and those who live in other cities. We know that Joe Biden is right now down Washington, D.C. with Vice President Harris. And we are transforming with new leadership as the Democrat Party has the votes in the Senate House. We're going to pay close attention because a lot of people are afraid to talk about the Democrat Party in the city of Philadelphia. The way that they gave the Afro-American and my Asian community has suffered, and some of my Latino community has suffered. But the difference between the black community, we have never learned how to organize and not follow the old wave of politics in the city of Philadelphia. I got a radio show. And this is a radio show for those who maybe don't understand, or maybe you can help me. And maybe you can tell our viewers that you are satisfied with the elected officials that have been running our city for the last 60 years. And we do not have a leader that's concerned about our district, our community, and the way that the school district of Philadelphia has boo-washed and allowed the wave go past our community and left us with old schools. Callers, this is your time to talk. I know that talking about change is hard for people in my community. When are we going to wake up to go with a new wave and a new identity of who we are as people in this country? For those who are voting people in America has spoken today. We have seen how if we market and invest in advertisement, invest in billboards, invest in slogans, invest in commercials, and those, my brothers and sisters that are doing their own podcast radio. It's up to us, the new radio stations, the new podcasts. It's up to us to spread the new wave of a message that with most radio stations and most news channels cannot do what we do. They are controlled. But also I realize that because we're on Facebook or Instagram, on the YouTube channel, that we have policies that we must respect. Because my name is Showtime the Hype Man, I have a morning show, and I've been born and raised in Philadelphia, where mostly people in my area only focusing on their job and their responsibilities. We are sleeping, going to the 21st century. We have seen what they did to the White House and came in mobs, where they can do the same thing in our community. We could be sleeping and not liking our neighbor, and our neighbor can be screaming and asking for help, but because we have learned to turn our back on our youth, we have learned to turn our back on our own family, we have learned to turn our back on our own co-worker, we have learned to turn the back on the darkness of the structure of our community, so the elected officials and those who are in greater position know that the black people have turned their back on each other. They don't worry about us because we don't care about each other. My name is Showtime the Hype Man on Philly Hot Radio. I got a morning show. This is your opportunity to call the radio station, to call up. I'd like to hear your view about why is the black community is not marketing business opportunity, and we allow year out and year out the same stuff happen. 500 men and women died in 2020. My name is Showtime the Hype Man. I got a radio show. Hi, and good morning. This is Showtime the Hype Man morning show, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon on Philly Hot Radio. Call us. Call in at 484-477-6348, or you can go to www.phillyhotradio.com and stream live on YouTube and Facebook Live. See ya. Callers, you can call in at 484-477-6348. We lost over 500 people in the streets of violence, gun violence in the city of Philadelphia. And it's not going to get better. So many black business has lost their business because of the COVID-19, and some of the banks and those who have filled out applications to receive money, recovery money, to keep their business open. We have seen across the global where blacks live at, and some of the poorest community are suffering by the COVID-19 virus. We have seen a demonstrating of diabetes has came in our community rapidly. Because we don't do data, and because we don't do counts, and because none of us are in a laboratory or as scientists to figure out what is going on, that why we don't love each other. I'm hoping that this platform that God has gave me, and I know that some days it's going to be difficult for me to build this Monday through Friday show. I'm going to say some things, and I'm hoping that what I'm saying, that I touch someone that has the heart to call in on this phone line to talk about why we have never mastered unity. It bothers me that I talked about 500 people in the city of Philadelphia had passed away in 2020, and we're seeing death going to 21. This is for all people that are concerned about their own city and how we're seeing Philadelphia struggle to maintain a good spirit. And we talk about brotherly love, but it's called killer love, because this city has killed so many dreams of innocent young men that had nowhere to go to ask for help, because they have closed all our rec centers, outdated old rec centers, outdated old schools. We don't have anything that is fresh around the global world and around the United States. And for those who are in Washington and South Carolina, North Carolina, my brothers in Chicago and Detroit, and those who are in New York City and Groton, Connecticut, and New Haven, I am asking those who have podcasts, radio shows. I cannot do it alone. And those who have podcast radio stations, how can we come up with a solution to save the babies and save the innocent children, to restructure a new wave of knowledge of loving your people? I'm Showtime the Hype Man from Philly Hot Radio. I got a morning show here from 10 to 12. And because we have never connected towards each other, and maybe we're not into structure and foundation and unity, I know that it's a bumpy road for me. And I know that it's not a hard task, because I have watched what Tyler Perry has went through. I have watched some of the key guys that were promoters and those who wanted to build their own thing. We have over 8 billion blacks in this country. That we can survive off our own people, because we've been taught to spend our money in other areas and not invest it or market it or doing live commercials about bringing a new solution in our thinking. I remember when the late James Brown had a slogan that I don't want nobody to give me nothing. Just open up the door. That's what Showtime the Hype Man is doing on Philly Hot Radio morning show from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. I'm by myself right now. And I'm at the lab finding different ways to come up with a great show and a better show than any other podcast radio station around the world. So as I came in today, I am hoping that God allowed me to get a chemistry and a lab work, because I'm at the lab right now still learning. For 18 months, I'm still growing as a radio host. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about marijuana. And its trucks. For those who live in New York City around 22nd West, downtown in Manhattan, they have legal marijuana trucks where they have hot dog carts, food carts, where our children will go downtown in the city in New York City where the marijuana trucks they painted, they look nice. How do you feel as a mother or a parent when you're leaving the movie theater or maybe a theater down in New York City or the park, the Central Park, where your son or your daughter see that pretty truck? But you got to explain to your child that that is not a food truck, that is a marijuana truck where they sell marijuana products, where they make marijuana burgers, marijuana smoothie. They have came up with different types of food and has marketed marijuana like they did with dogs and animals. Have you noticed that marketing animals in different places has become a big billion-dollar business? In the 70s, in the 80s, where marijuana was not illegal, where that was a hustle for some of the brothers and sisters that was selling marijuana in the 70s and the 80s more. Now that marijuana is in some of your state legislators in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, feel that marijuana is a way to get tax money and revenue off of marijuana. And we're seeing some of the marijuana stores pop up in Pennsylvania. I have not seen a food truck, marijuana truck downtown yet, but if the money right and they know the right elected official that can push their permit to sell marijuana in the heart of the center city where they're building, but they're not focused and taking tax money, or even with the lottery tickets that we play lotteries, but the poor people in the black community is not benefiting off of nothing, and we got state legislators and state senators are approving things for the other people, but we don't have leadership that's coming up at the table. What are you going to do for our community? I know that you want me to pass this marijuana bill. Before I need to know, I need a trade-off. And some of the elected officials in position don't even know how to trade off their votes. What can you do for my community? Because the black community has suffered for years. And those who watch The Godfather and Mafia movies, they always say put the drugs in the black community, where we know that drugs has played a major role of great men and women trying to sup it. And it took good mothers and good fathers that was getting jobs in the 80s in the city of Philadelphia and across this great nation. Drugs has played a major role in some of our celebrities and some of our groups, R&B groups, in singing, and we was on our way of rising to the next level because they had a lab where we're afraid to study. And that's what Showtime the Hype Man is doing. Miss Butt, thank you for tuning in. And I will be seeing you Friday, ladies and gentlemen. This lady that's coming on Friday on January the 22nd, she is coming with the truth. And she is working hard behind the scene to market her brand, what she stands for. I truly believe that Friday's show is going to be an explosive. For those who are watching us, tune in on January the 22nd. Aisha is coming. But, so we're promoting this show for Friday. Please pass it on. Because Friday on January the 2nd, we're going to have some fun, but we're going to speak on some good value. And I have your seat ready for you live on Philly Hot Radio morning show with Showtime the Hype Man. So for those who know, call in. The phone number is 484-477-6348. What is your view about the marijuana trucks that's going to be in the center city, already in New York City? How do you feel that they say that these funds supposed to help out some of our community, but we haven't never saw the funds? We have been outdated and everybody else is benefited because we have never learned how to go in the lab and find a way to go to the table to present our proposal to some of our state reps and some of our state senators that's up in Harrisburg, or finding ways to get state money and revenue, but they're finding ways to bring more dope and more drugs and saying that marijuana helps certain sickness. So we'd like to have our viewers to call in about the marijuana trucks that's popping around. And then we're going to talk about the poppy stores that are selling liquor in our community. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Showtime the Hype Man. I have a morning show from 10 to 12.
Hi, and good morning. This is Showtime the Hype Man Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon on Philly Hot Radio. Callers, call in at 484-477-6348, or you can go to www.phillyhotradio.com and stream live on YouTube and Facebook Live. See ya.
Hi, my name is Showtime. Now we're talking about how the state and senators has passed a marijuana bill in Pennsylvania, where they say that the marijuana is going to build revenue for the state to fix up highways, or we've been fixing up highways for the last 50, 60 years. And when I ride the highways, I don't see some of the young black Afro-American men working in Pennsylvania. But all I see is some of the suburban brothers, my white brothers and sisters, have all the jobs if you ride, and we're not allowing them to allow us because of lack of education and lack of trades. That because they are passing bills, we should pass bills. How can we create more jobs for the youth and give them some trades? Because they make a mistake, because they are designed to make our children go the wrong way. Not saying that parents haven't done a good job, but because of the pressure and the peer pressure that our children go through on the course of a day, trying to be a better young man or a better woman. Because of the social media, and have gave us this sparkle, glitter lifestyle. And because we are living in a fast pace, and our children are living in a fast pace. Last night, my grandson was comfortable of going to bed with his phone and his iPad that I purchased for him. I blame that on me. And because of TV, phones at 8, 9, and 10, 11, and 12, because of the new technology, or we buy phones for our children so we can know where they at, just in case parents are working or single parents that have jobs, that they get their kids phones for the protection. A friend of mine, Bootsy and Tony, invited me to a stage play about 3 or 4 years ago about cell phones, how it affected our community and our family gathering, where the mother and the father made that they wanted to give all their children phones inside the house because they had got a package. But what happened was a story in a stage place. I want to give Bootsy and Tony Simmons a shout out for giving me that invited me and Diane to that play about 3-4 years ago. And that stage play stuck with me, where his wife was on the phone, the kids was on the phone constantly, and then the husband had his own phone too. But what happened was that his wife ran across an old friend from school by being on Facebook and Instagram, and how we can recount a person that we went to high school with, and we might be in our late 50s. That might have been 30 or 40 years ago, of meeting someone that we grew up that we haven't seen, but because of Facebook and Instagram, it allows you to go and find people, or they'll watch your page for a friend request. But in this story, that the lady they got into texting each other every day. Along with the kids was on the phone doing what they want to do every day, and nobody was monitoring the phones inside the house because the mother has become programmed and attached to the phone also. Even the father has become attached to the phone. But what happened is that the conversation on the text started being more aggressive, but the mother never knew, because she knew the guy at high school, but she never knew his journey after high school and what he became and what type of man he had become. In this story, in this stage play, that the mother didn't realize that this guy was a lunatic and a sick individual. But the mom remembered the young man that she maybe went on prom with or liked it in the high school, but she never realized that the condition of the spirit has shifted in this person over 30 years ago, and she haven't even saw, but she resurfaced him on Facebook. And this story is a true story, but they made it out of a stage play. But what happened was the mother didn't realize that she was texting every day, and they was texting back and forth. It was a sick individual. So what happened was the father, her husband, even though she never cheated on her husband, she never did anything, but what happened was she met a sick individual on Facebook. And this is someone that she was attractive in high school, and maybe that the husband was not paying attention to his wife, because after 20 and 30 and 40 years, sometimes the relationship is not attractive, physical, or maybe not attractive in other things that we was doing as couples early on. Sometimes we can outgrow our relationship, or we can outgrow our partners and even still be loving them. So what happened was the mother put the phone down by mistake. So the father never really used to pay attention to the phone, and he never would look at her. But one day he picked the phone up and he saw these texts back and forth with an old friend of hers, just was a high school friend. So he read the message. And what happened was it started a controversy inside the house. So the guy that was texting, she promised her husband that she wasn't going to do no more texting with the guy, and she did that. She was only doing that for rec center because she was bored and she was not getting no attention because everybody else was doing what they're doing. So Facebook has became some attention to some people that maybe are not getting any attention inside their homes. So the phone thing has become a great distraction inside people that have marriage and children, everybody on the phone, even when we watching TV, even when you put your son and daughter in the car, the first thing the kids are doing and watching what we're doing, pick up the phone. I do it soon. The first thing I wake up, the phone. Turn on. So what happened was this man knocked on the door, a stranger. But she never told the guy that she was married. And so the guy Googled and found her address because of new technology and trackers. You'll be amazed where people know where you live at. Because we're not paying attention, and I have found out even, you'd be surprised that those who want to interact on Facebook, they are some sick individual, and you think you got some, but they mentally sick. So what happened was the guy knocked on the door, and the mother was shocked. But thank God the father wasn't home. So she said that I am married with 3 children. And don't you ever come over my house or knock on my door. So what she did, she cut the phone off. So she had a conversation with her husband and told her husband the truth, what was really going on. So the father came up with an idea to take all the phones away for about a month for everybody to get his family back, to get the children back, and having conversation with the mother and the father. So as the first week, you know was hard when we are accustomed of using our phone every day. We are accustomed to know that where my phone at. When we go out to the movie, when we go to the supermarket, or when we go into events or church, whatever you do, we have become accustomed and magnetic to phones. So why the father made a healthy decision to get his family back. For 30 days, they was like zombies missing their phone. But the 4th week, without using the phone, without texting the phone, it had helped them to really look at the phones where these phones came out of nowhere and everybody adapted of having a phone from AT&T, T-Mobile, Sprint, whatever your providers. This has become a multi-billion-dollar business where blacks has never invested money in stock in AT&T, T-Mobile. We're watching phones that take over. I had another guy. So I like those who like to call up the radio station and tell me your experience with your child or the phone situation. I know that I got a radio show. We don't know how to engage in topics. We're not going nowhere. Philly Hott Radio, Monday to Friday morning show, Showtime the Hype Man. That is something I want to discuss. How do you feel about your children and how phones has landed in us in the 21st century? My name is Showtime the Hype Man. I got a radio show.
Hi, and good morning. This is Showtime the Hype Man morning show, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon on Philly Hott Radio. Call us. Call in at 484-477-6348, or you can go to www.phillyhottradio.com and stream live on YouTube and Facebook Live. See ya.
Hi, my name is Showtime the Hype Man. We was talking about the marijuana trucks that are growing in New York City, and the marijuana trucks will be coming soon in stores in our community, in certain communities that pass permit. We was talking about, I gave you a story of a stage play about the cell phones, and a lot of us have allowed these phones, but also these phones can be in good handies of making money off it. I was talking about where people are selling things on phones where you can make money. So are we really using our phones to make it benefit for us to establish ourselves and using the phone to make extra money on the side, or we just use it for rec center, or maybe some people are mentally stirred, found out Facebook can be a way for them that they can be sitting in their home bored. The phone lines are open. You like to call in. I like those who like to call in at 484-477-6348. The phones are open. I like to hear your input about the cell phones that are storming in our community, like this snow blizzard that I'm looking outside the radio right now. So call us, call in. My name is Showtime the Hype Man on Philly Hot Radio. I got a morning show from Monday to Friday. I don't know the way it's going, but this laboratory that I'm at, I know that God is going to fix this. And what I'm doing, I'm playing how to approach this radio show so I can get more listeners to engage in conversation. And the only way that I'm going to break this ice, that I have to be consistent and trust God. God got me at the laboratory. That's what I call the radio station, a laboratory for me. And I am shaking and mixing up certain chemicals to make sure that this radio show won't do a grand opening and a grand closing. So I'm going to have to do some things different than most podcast radio shows. But I'm asking all those who are doing this, let's help each other. I know that a lot of people are busy watching the inauguration where Joe Biden and Harris are getting sworn in Washington, and we're seeing a snow shower come down in parts of our city. So we have 15 minutes. Boy, time is passing by. Dr. Rock said that, boy, you can talk for 2 hours, and I guess you was right, Dr. Rock. We got Abdullah, that's my little brother, Sandra, that's tuning in. So this radio station have gave so many other people, and I have watched the website where Philly Hot Radio have gave so many hosts. And so many people have walked through these doors on Philly Hot Radio. And I believe that the people that have put this radio station together has a dream. I'm hoping that Showtime the Hype Man can be the face of this radio station, along with my co-host on Saturday morning, Dr. Rock. And I want to thank each and every radio show that's on Philly Hot Radio. We want y'all to continue to work hard and continue to build your show up. And if you need any help, I'm willing to help anyone that does live podcasts on Philly Hot Radio. We are structured. We're not going nowhere. We have a great team that's willing to help each other. I am committed along with my co-host, Dr. Rock, on Saturday morning on Whistle While You Work. I'm in the lab every day trying to figure out how can I make this radio show successful. I know a lot of people are watching me around the world, and maybe someone is watching me in Los Angeles, in New York City, or Atlanta, Georgia, that sees something in me that my style is unique and different. And the only way is to be different. I cannot duplicate no other radio show but do what I do best. And I'm hoping that I know that God is going to allow someone to walk through that door, up these steps, and is going to come with an idea that's going to make this radio show go global, worldwide, because I got a gift from God, and it's the voice. God, I want to thank you for giving me a gift and also teaching me the ability how to broadcast live around the world, and hoping that people will see my passion and my energy and the things that I'm doing, because I don't have a jealous spirit. And mostly people are quick to turn you off of one incident. And I have learned that we will hold grudges over one innocent, and we will carry that in our heart, and we haven't realized that when we do that stuff, it affects your kidneys. Why are we holding each other back? And we argue or we say things. Then you get the people talking about, he ain't professional. We don't have time to be comparing where the other people are getting ahead. And I'm watching how they have learned to rally behind greatness and seeing something. Ladies and gentlemen, someone is watching me right now and see something good in me. Even those who are my haters that are watching me at home right now and hoping that I say something so they can spread it among their friends, so they can be like dominoes to reject what I'm doing. I'm not going nowhere. Because I'm excited what God has done for me. And by having a strong back and standing tall as a black man of fighting your own community, it's rough. But I have found a new secret, a new art, and I'm going to master this game. This podcast radio show and this radio show that we are building, that I know that God is going to take care of this radio station. God going to take care of every person that sit in this seat to use these microphones that we have, this sound equipment. My name is Showtime the Hype Man on Philly Hot Radio. Showtime the Hype Man got a morning show.
Hi, and good morning. This is Showtime the Hype Man Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon on Philly Hot Radio. Callers, call in at 484-477-6348, or you can go to www.phillyhotradio.com and stream live on YouTube and Facebook Live. See ya!
I told you I'm not going nowhere. So we have been missing a lot of fun. We have not been going to shows. Boxing events have shut down. We are seeing some of the NBA has change schedule because of the COVID-19. We're seeing our children work home that are trying to deal with homework inside the house and bringing schools inside our homes. We're seeing people that maybe had jobs at restaurants and other local places, or where they're not getting 40 hours. We're seeing people losing their mortgage, their car notes. We're seeing everybody that's in lines and food banks. I was sharing with someone earlier about the COVID-19, about how God has protected each and every one of us. I want to make that clear for those who maybe died from COVID-19 and those who maybe died this year. And we're seeing a lot of death. And it was an old saying that the longer you live, the more death you're going to see. I just want God to know that we love him. And I know that God is working overtime because my people have not found a way of unity. God, if you're listening to me today on Philly Hot Radio, God, I need you to spread a new wave of knowledge, information to the poorest people. God, I ask you, because we all got one God, it doesn't matter how I do this. For those who know, I'm not a religion guy. I don't belong to any churches. I'm just a regular guy that's a humanity leader of a spirituality that just want to help everybody. So that means that I can have friends, no matter what you are, what your religion are, that I'm a universally spiritual guy, just want people to be successful. I may not have everything in front of me right now, but I know that through prayers and dedication and being consistent will outweigh my haters and those who still don't believe in my podcast show. We're going to be doing some great stuff. We got a guest coming Friday. Aisha Butts is coming. We're going to be talking about her organization and what they're doing and how they are raising money to do a movies about anti-awareness about mental disturbed children. Also know that I'm going to be in a movie play as me being the guy in the movie, and I have never ever been in the movies before or ever been directed into a movies. So this is something that came across my table of me doing what I'm doing every Saturday has set a tone for me to do other stuff. So I want to thank those who listen to us every Saturday, me and Dr. Rock on Philly Hot Radio, Whistle While You Work, that show that we have came together and we are working hard and hoping that all our guests and everybody that come. But I want to say that to our young audience and those who come on our show. It's important that you learn how to market your own self. It's too many people that get a little of celebrity, sit there, they're too lazy. If a guy invites you on his podcast show, woman or guy show, if they get a flyer made up for you, it's your duty to put it on Facebook, Instagram, post it to all your friends, because we have seen how we have invited so many guests. I've been on this radio station for going on my 19 months, along with Dr. Rob. And we are not helping us out, but we'll get you on a flyer, but you're afraid to promote, and half of y'all don't know how to promote. But you want to open up a business. You want to do this, and then half of y'all afraid to speak up. Half of y'all afraid to call the radio station, and your parents and your friends are not used to encourage you and supporting you. But once they see you get a big break, that's when they want to go to the Black Ties Affair. They want to go to some of the events where your name is on a guest list for the VIP. I have been in VIP stat quote. And I am still working hard to be in VIP stat quote. I'm going to be doing some of the biggest shows around the world because I got the voice, I got the heart, and I sure got the look. Don't I look good, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Showtime the Hype Man on Philly Hot Radio. I got a morning show. And I got to come up every day to face y'all in hoping. I was listening to Russell Simmons and Tyler Perry's story where they have no fans and nobody never came on a show, and they thought that because they marketed that they thought that the community will come out and support them. I'm on this show by myself where nobody is believing that I'm going to make it. But I don't look for that because if y'all watched my audience Monday that I told y'all that I'm deaf. What I mean by deaf, if you want to be successful, you have to have a cheerful spirit and a deaf ear to not listen to the people that don't want no black man to receive a radio show from the muscle. And we are watching how women's and men that know me in this city, and I was born and raised in Philadelphia since 1961. And you'll be surprised that the community that you come from, not one person or 2 or 3 people will support you from your own community because we was taught not to help each other. We was taught to get high with each other, but never was taught to build with each other. I want to say that again for those who are watching me. Where I come from, we was taught to gang war and get high, but not build business, not to build opportunity, not to support a brother that opened up a store or he have come with an idea. We was taught how to get high and gang war and how many girls that we can get in the community. But as we get older, we was taught the wrong way. Ladies and gentlemen, the old way is not working. For those who from Winfield, I'm hoping that I'm representing Winfield, even though I will not get no support for none of my Winfield brothers and sisters, and it's okay. I know that I'm one of the hottest thing in Winfield besides Will Smith and other celebrities that are quiet that live in Winfield. You are watching someone that come off the steps on 54th and Lebanon Avenue, where I didn't know where God was going to take me at. And my journey has been hard because of the energy and the spirit that I got. God, I want to thank you for giving me a radio show. And I'm excited about tomorrow's show. So we're getting close to the hour. Matter of fact, I have 3 more minutes. Wow. And when you're having fun and time is moving, so I want to thank our listeners. I want to thank our haters. I want to thank those who still don't believe in Showtime the Hype Man's going to make it. I know that a lot of people was in this seat that I am that walked through this door on Philly Hot Radio. For those who know that I started in 2019. And I remember that first day when I called Dr. Rock and I called one of her friends, associates, to get both of them to come on the show. And I realized that it has to be a spiritual connector for me. And Philly Hot Radio team has walked with me and they're willing to work with me because I'm learning more how to handle the technology of the computer system. And it's been hard, but me and Dr. Rock rumbled it out. So I want to thank my family, my fans, my friends, and my new friends, and all those who I meet that has their own podcast radio station. Philly Hot Radio, Showtime the Hype Man Morning Show, gonna be the #1 show. But I gotta take baby steps. So I'm in the lab today, hoping that God, as I leave here today, will give me another piece of information tomorrow to share with y'all. So we're gonna get this thing right. We're not going nowhere. I'm not gonna do a grand opening, a grand closing. I am committed to build this radio station to be one of the biggest, and we will one day be playing all the songs and new artist acts. So those who like to come on my show, you can go to my email, mikaelkeller.g28gmail.com, or you can go on my page and inbox me on Mikael Keller, inbox me, or we have an email on Philly Hot Radio Whistle While You Work that Dr. Rock will be looking at the emails, or you can go to Sharon that monitor the Whistle While You Work page. So anybody that want to come on this show just to sit in with me to have a conversation, you're all welcome. This is for ordinary people that want to be stars, because stars watch stars. So we're about to close this show.
Hi, and good morning. This is Showtime the Hype Man Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon on Philly Hot Radio. Callers, call in at 484-477-6348, or you can go to www.phillyhotradio.com and stream live on YouTube and Facebook Live. See ya.
See ya.